A surprising announcement just in a short time ago from Marilyn Manson, who has officially confirmed his full-fledged return to music. Manson announced his first tour since 2019. His career's been on hold since February 1st, 2021. That was the day his record label dropped him. The same day his former partner, actress Evan Rachel Wood, made very serious allegations of abuse against Manson. Manson has denied all allegations made against him. After that, a slew of other women came forward accusing Manson of abuse, filing multiple lawsuits against him. Manson released a statement denying all of the allegations against him. He has maintained his innocence throughout this process. Manson said in a statement at the time, "Obviously, my art and my life have long been magnets for controversy, but these recent claims about me are horrible distortions of reality. My intimate relationships have always been entirely consensual with like-minded partners. Regardless of how and why others are now choosing to misrepresent the past, that is the truth." There have been so many developments in the various lawsuits Manson has faced, including multiple settlements, and even one of his accusers recanting her allegations against Manson, accusing actress Evan Rachel Wood of pressuring her into making allegations against Manson. Also, in January of 2023, actress Esme Bianca, who also filed a lawsuit against Manson, settled her claims with the shock rocker. After making the allegations against Manson, Wood released a documentary on HBO called Phoenix Rising. It was after that release that Manson sued Wood for defamation, as well as her former partner, Ilma Gore. Now, in May of last year, a judge overseeing the case threw out key claims in that defamation suit filed by Manson against Wood. That case is still working its way through the courts. There is a tentative trial date set, but that will also likely be pushed back for quite some time. We don't know if this will even make its way into the courtroom, like we saw with the Johnny Depp case, which had a lot of high-profile attention on it. Manson has shown a willingness to settle with other accusers, but we don't know if this particular case will actually end up inside of that courtroom. Now, Evan Rachel Wood, who has not sued Manson and is being sued by him for defamation, has denied allegations that she tried to pressure Ashley Smithline into making allegations against Manson. Manson's team contends that. They are also signaling that they will likely appeal that judge's decision to throw out key parts of that defamation suit. Now, in addition to the civil component to this matter, there was also a criminal investigation launched by the LA County Sheriff's Office, who in November of 2021 raided Manson's home, taking a number of computers and hard drives with them. Notably, in a fall 2022 update from prosecutor George Gascon, he said his office expected to make a decision about whether or not to charge Manson that same month. Obviously, more than a year has passed since he made that statement, and there have been no announcements as to the status of that case. Though TMZ did report that a source connected to the sheriff's office claimed that charges were unlikely in the case. These are only a few of the many different developments that have happened with Marilyn Manson's legal saga over the last nearly 2.5 years. And Manson has refrained from making any statements about this other than to maintain his innocence. There are many fans who have continued to support Manson, and there will likely be many detractors who disagree with his decision to go out on tour. So with the likelihood that this legal saga will probably drag out for years, Manson has made the calculation to continue his music career, announcing that he will be direct support for Five Finger Death Punch on their upcoming summer run. This was a very surprising announcement. The lineup is Five Finger Death Punch, Marilyn Manson supporting, and they're also bringing out Slaughter to Prevail, a band I very much love. Now, as you can see here, Marilyn Manson made that announcement with a very brief statement on his social media. It says Marilyn Manson will be going on tour with Five Finger Death Punch this summer. Tickets available next week at the link in bio. Now, that's a very brief statement to be expected considering there's pending litigation. He's not really going to be able to talk about that situation at any length, and I'm sure his legal team is also advising him not to talk about it. We'll see if there's any references in his live show on tour. I also doubt that. Now, prior to all of these allegations, Marilyn Manson already was not getting rave reviews from fans on his live performances, to say the least. But I have heard that Marilyn Manson is now sober, so it'll be interesting to see the difference in his past live shows and his new ones if he's able to actually focus on the performance and not put on some of the sloppy performances we've seen from him in the past. Now, in addition to the backlash that Marilyn Manson has faced, he has also had a lot of support, both from his fans and public figures. Kat Von D publicly spoke out in support of Manson in a statement. She said that she knows him. She knows these allegations are not true. This is what she said at the time. Now you can tell here she felt compelled to stick up for her friend. She wrote, "My dear Marilyn Manson came by the studio. We're working on a beautiful special project we have coming up for you." She continued later on, "I know firsthand what it feels like to have society come to wildly incorrect conclusions about me and having spread out into the world, leaving people believing things that couldn't be further from the truth about me." She continued, "Having seen evidence against the accusations against my friend, I can't in good faith just blindly burn someone at the stake because everyone says I should. I can think for myself, and hopefully you can too." She continued later on, "Innocent until proven guilty should ring very true to us, especially after this last year. So perhaps before spewing criticism and possible gossip, even though I know it comes from a good place, it might be a good idea to keep it to yourself until you have all the information. Feel free to read the actual court documents and the link in Manson's bio, sending everyone extra love regardless." And Manson does have a link in his bio on his Instagram, which is essentially his legal team's response to the allegations against him. And while he's not directly responding to them, you can read through that court filing and see the arguments that they're making against what's been said against him. So what will the reaction be to this announcement? Will there be new music on the way from Manson? You can bet the response will be polarizing, from those who feel Manson has done wrong to the fans who have stood behind him. I think before this announcement was made, people had their minds already made up about how they feel about Manson. Should Manson be prevented from performing? Should he not be allowed to resume his career, considering he hasn't even been charged with a crime? And if Manson is truly sober, as he appears to be, this will be a different live show from him than we've seen in the past. The truth is, he wasn't meeting fans' expectations. He had put on a lot of weight. He was having a lot of outbursts. The performances were sloppy. He really has one shot at this to come back and put on a compelling performance for the fans if he wants people to get behind him, if he really wants to continue his career, because on top of the allegations, he's also dealing with that fact that a lot of fans had been disappointed with the show prior to this. But again, seems to have lost a lot of weight. He seems to be sober. And so this will likely be a very different live show. So these are the tour dates. The tour kicks off August 2nd in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Heads down to Boston. This kicks off on August 2nd. You can see the dates up on your screen now. It's going through St. Louis, Chicago, Nashville, continuing through the Midwest, out to the West Coast, Anaheim, Las Vegas on September 8th, going down to Atlanta, Georgia, wrapping up September 19th in Houston, Texas. Now, I know a lot of you have very strong opinions on this. I'm genuinely curious to hear what you think. Let me know in the comments down below. As we learn more about this, if we hear anything else from Marilyn Manson, we will let you know. As always, keep it posted right here for Rock Feed for the latest news and updates about your favorite bands.